I'm going to take you through a sample beginner practice, which is going to include a warm-up, some melody reading practice, and chord practice. A routine like this might take around 15 or 20 minutes, which is a pretty good length of time for a beginner practice. We're only going to practice a few things, but these will cover some very important bases like general technique, music reading, melody playing, chords, and accompaniment patterns. I really recommend learning to read and play melodies in standard notation. Even if you think you're mainly going to be a chord player, you'll be able to follow lead sheets a lot more easily if you can read music. Before you even touch the guitar, I recommend stretching your fretting hand as a warm-up and for injury prevention. And all I do is I stick my left hand out, get a better angle, stick my left hand out. With my other hand, I just pull my fingers back. Not too hard, just want to feel a little bit of a stretch, especially down in the forearm. And then I stretch each digit back. I'm doing this faster than I usually do. Usually I spend more time. Stretch each one back just a little bit. And then I'll rotate each of my fingers. I just kind of turn them side to side. And again, usually a lot slower than this, and I might give it one more stretch. Next, and I still do this every day, is a tremolo. Now tremolo is just a fancy way of saying you're going to play back and forth on one note or one string really quickly. Do a tremolo on the first string for at least 30 seconds, then move to the next string. Do that for about 30 seconds, move to the next string, do that on every string. I went over some tips for this tremolo exercise in my beginning guitar warm-up video. I'll leave a link for that in the description. Next up is this chromatic exercise, which I also went into in more detail in that beginning guitar warm-up. So I'm just going to play here and talk through it. You just play on the 6th string, finger 1, 2, 3, 4 on fret 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you move to the next string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just do that on every string. And then you take it the other way. On the first string, play 4, 3, 2, 1 with fingers 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next string. After your warm-up, I recommend practicing a melody or two that's written in standard music notation. And in general, it's not a bad idea to practice melodies before you practice chords. Single note melodies are easier on your fingers than chords, and they can serve as an extension of your warm-up. So here's the type of melody you might be practicing. There are plenty of books that show you how to read melodies in standard notation, but since I've written a few of my own, we'll use mine. This is from my Melody Guitar Book 1, and this is Molly Malone. Now this is just one melody. Depending on how much time you have, you may be practicing 2 or 3 melodies. Whatever you're working on, don't just play it once and then call it good. You want to build some muscle memory, and you can only do that by repeating things over and over and over again. So play it over and over again, whatever you're working on, and start slowly so you make as few mistakes as possible, and then gradually build up speed. And if you have problems with a certain spot, stop and isolate that area. So let's say we had problems with these 2 measures in the last line of Molly Malone. What you would do is play those very slowly, work out any issues, and then keep repeating it a little faster and a little faster. And if you want to check out my Melody Guitar Book series, links are in the description. Playing chords is a huge part of guitar playing, so you should definitely include chords and accompaniment patterns in each practice session. I recommend learning to play with a pick and with fingers so you're comfortable playing either way, and at the start, work on easy patterns. You can embellish them later on, but right now, the most important thing is to learn some easy patterns, learn when to switch chords, and learn to keep a steady beat. And the best way to do that is just to learn chords to a lot of songs. Here's an example of a song you might be practicing for chords. This is from my rhythm guitar book series. It's in 3/4 time, so if you're playing chords with a pick, you might just practice a simple bass strum pattern. So that's a bass note on beat 1, and strum on beats 2 and 3. When you're practicing your chord songs, I do recommend singing the song if you can. It's a really good way to practice the timing of your chords. That being said, in this little playthrough, I'm not going to sing it because this particular song is a bit out of my range. You don't want to hear that. So I'm just going to speak the words. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me, playing nice and slow and evenly. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. And just as with your melodies, practice your chord songs several times so you can work on muscle memory. And if you run into some problems, stop and isolate those problems. Let's say we had trouble switching between the E minor and the D7 at the beginning of the second line. What you want to do there is spend a little time playing those chords back and forth. No pattern, just the E minor by itself and a D7. Once you're comfortable playing back and forth without the pattern, then add the pattern back in, but do it very slowly. We just looked at one song here, but if you have the time, I recommend playing as many songs as you can. Focus on 1 or 2 at a time to really get those down, and then spend some time reading through other songs just for the experience of practicing and learning chords. I also recommend singing the songs as you practice chords, even if you don't plan on singing in public. Singing the songs will make you a more sensitive accompanist, you'll get a better sense of when to change chords, and you'll develop more of an instinct for which patterns might work with a given song. Now, if you're looking for a systematic approach to chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns, check out my rhythm guitar books, especially Rhythm Guitar 2. I've also got some videos that teach beginning strumming and fingerstyle patterns, and I'll leave links for books and videos in the description. There's a lot of stuff to learn about guitar, but you don't have to learn it all at once. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't try to learn it all at once. A good book will take you through the early stages of guitar playing step by step, and if you're just getting started, check out my Melody Guitar Book 1, which focuses on reading and playing melodies in standard notation, and my Rhythm Guitar Book 1, which gets you started with super easy chords. You'll find links to my books, videos, and free downloads in the description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more guitar tips.